Can medical malpractice be criminal? Hi, I'm Darrell Castle. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Tennessee. And on this video today, we're going to answer that question. Can medical malpractice be criminal? And we learn from a current case in the state of California, the case of Dr. Munir Obade, that yes, indeed, medical malpractice can be criminal. Dr. Obade is under a 57-count federal indictment accusing him of bilking insurance companies out of $150 million over the last decade or so, he and several of his associates. Along with that, that's the criminal part. Now, the difference is that in a criminal case, a person can actually go to jail if he is convicted, and the burden of proof is higher for that reason. In a criminal case, the prosecutor has to prove that the person is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but in a civil case, if a person loses, he only loses some money and some of his reputation, but the burden of proof there is simply a preponderance of the evidence, which usually means it's more likely than not that it happened. At the same time, this doctor is accused by dozens of patients of having an unlicensed assistant operate on them. An assistant who had never even been to medical school is accused of performing these surgeries, and each and every one of those dozens of patients says that he or she was harmed permanently, suffered permanent harm. So those are civil medical malpractice cases, and if they are proven successfully, the doctor and or his insurance company could lose a considerable amount of money. What about all the cases out there, folks, that are not that spectacular, that don't get that type of headline? Well, there can be just as devastating. For example, I've had a case where a person goes to an emergency room, he's suffering the classic symptoms of aneurysm or heart attack, and he is sent home thinking it might just be indigestion and dies of a heart attack that night, thus depriving him of life and his loved ones of his support and that sort of thing. I've had cases where a pregnant woman in labor went to a hospital emergency room in an ambulance and they refused to see her. They sent her to a hospital 40 miles away and she delivered a dead baby, obviously a devastating result. Those things happen. They don't catch headlines, but they are really terrible. If you've had a catastrophic injury, an injury so severe that you feel like it is life-changing and you think that was caused by medical negligence, call me for a free case evaluation. You'll be glad you did.